Hello jobbers, my name is Andres Guaran and welcome to the 68 Jobs channel. This episode is going to be very special because it's the first video here on the channel and we're going to talk about the spark, the beginning, that start of this project or of this idea. Every story, everything that has an impact in the world or on you has a beginning. So thank you for allowing us to share this story with you. Enjoy it and welcome. Welcome to the 68 Jobs channel. This is your place to go from zero to the job that changes everything. No more waiting, let's start. So let's start. Let's start with this amazing video. What you see here in these two pictures, I will start with the top of this picture. You might say, then we can go to the presentation that is down. This nice photo image picture that you see here has a special meaning. And why is that? It is that these are all the folders of the job applications that I did around 2016, 17, and 18 in order to get the job that changed everything. So why this image is important? Let me provide you some context because it is very important for you to understand the context of the story, and of course you will answer a lot of questions about the brand itself. So in the name of the brand is called 60 Jobs. Yeah. I didn't call it Andres. I didn't call it, I don't know, finding a job in Sweden. Maybe that would have been amazing for other marketing reasons. I put it in 68 Jobs because it took, at that moment, 68 jobs, say, applications in order to get that job. And this is what you're seeing here. There is evidence of the process. There is information, there is data that I have done it. And why is so important to say, Andres, why is important that these folders exist? That is something that is called evidence. Yeah? Why evidence is important? You might say, Andres, is this some kind of legal case or anything? No. It is to show to you that most of the time when we think we have done something, we cannot see the progress. We cannot see what has happened from the beginning until the end. Yeah? These folders, this picture that you see here, explain and show you, and show me, of course, it has shown us, that when it happened, when it was at the beginning, and when we actually reach that job. Yeah, that this is the journey. This is the journey that it took. Of course, you see it going up, but in reality, I really like to make these graphics on. Of course, I put the job on the top, but it was a little bit down, then again up, then very down, then up again, and then down, and then really up, etc. And then, of course, it was going up until we cannot reach that job. This evidence also show us that we have done the job. Yeah, we have done the job. The 68 jobs itself show us that it has been done. The action of do. Yeah, perhaps, of course, I'm not going to talk about verbs or adverbs or substantive. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. But it's because it has been done. We did it. It was about the doing. This is important because the name itself provides a certain kind of inspiration. When I am guiding some of you, as a job seekers, one of the first things that I hear is, of course, I'm tired. And then I'm like, of course, it's not an easy process. It is a very time-consuming and energy-consuming process to get a job here in Sweden. But then it comes the question is like, tell me about your job situation. How many jobs you have applied? And this is when it comes, I have done 2 applications. And I'm like, okay, maybe you have done 10 applications. let's put about in terms also in time context. Maybe you have started your process 3 months ago. This is the average I was getting. So 10 applications, maybe 15 applications. This was what I was hearing back then. Or on the other side, it was literally, it was like 100 applications. I met somebody who have done 400 applications. That was insane. And this tells us, I will put this in red, two things. So either what has happened, of course, in terms of maybe you were applying too little. And this one was even insane, is that after 100 or 400 applications, I'm telling you, it's either something that perhaps you haven't modified on the process, or simply the market or the system is so against you, because that is how the feeling is. Some kind of way it feels. I have done 1,000 applications and I still don't have a job, and it feels like kind of the system, Sweden is against you and everything. Is that after 400 applications, these are very extreme cases that people don't get a job. And then this is what I ask, show me, show me that you have done those 100 applications. And most of that, it's not that I don't believe you, but sometimes we tend to inflate, to make that number bigger. Is that of those 100 maybe applications you have done, you have maybe just a 50% of evidence that you have done it. Why is this important? Why is this important? Because either the case, if you have done only 2 applications, 10 little applications or too much applications, is that we need the evidence, we need to touch something, we need to create that evidence. Is that either here, we need to create those applications. We need to do the applications and learn from them. It's a process. Yeah? So either you learn from this or you don't, and you continue applying the same way, you don't get a job. Or you done all of this and still don't learn about what you're doing, and then not even modify any kind of the process, and this is why you don't get the job. So we learn because we do the applications, okay? That is why all of this that I have explained is the evidence of it. That is the name 68 jobs. That is why it exists, because it took 68 jobs. When I counted, there was 68 folders. Right now, I think it was like 72 or something. That happened, okay? Now, the second part of this context is, Andres, okay, you started with applications, the number of applications. Is this to make us feel bad or pressure? If you feel bad or pressure, let me tell you that whatever I have said, if it has touched your nerves, it means that we are doing an amazing job. So we usually say ego is the enemy, and that means that any part of you, either the person that is afraid or has been acting as a victim, it feels touched. Is that, is it? Maybe I haven't done that much applications, or I have done too much. Andres, why you saying this? Do you think I'm not learning about this? I'm so stressed about this. If you react on what I'm saying, just hear yourself. If you react on what I'm saying, hear yourself. What it is and why are you reacting on that? Because I have never said anything right now to make you feel bad. So let's put it in the context of the story. So why all these applications? Now this is going to become the story. My name is Andres, of course. Yeah, Andres. And Andres has not ever been with a job, of course. Is that Andres arrived to Sweden in 2013. Yeah. And before 2013, if we can put it here, Andres had another profession. Yeah, he was an engineer. Most specific, an hydraulic engineer. When I arrived to Sweden, I had the chance to took a project with Chalmers, the university that I study here in Sweden, and they told me if I could manage their social media. And if Cecilia Hillman, if you're looking at this, thank you so much. Cecilia Hillman is the person who brought me here to Sweden. She's the recruiter at Chalmers, the person that brought me here. So I'm always forever grateful for her existence. So I took this role on social media when I came to Sweden. And what happened? So between 2013 and 2015, I was, let's say, quotation, working with Chalmers as an ambassador. There is a role called student ambassador. And when I graduated from the program, and this is where things turn a little bit crazy, is that when I graduated from Chalmers, on paper, yes, on paper, I am an engineer, yeah, with a bachelor's degree on engineering, of course, and with a master's degree on infrastructure and environmental engineering. But also, I have 2 years of experience on communications and marketing. With 2 M's. This was my reality. And even though I did work 6 months as an engineer, when I was doing that, Cecilia called me, and the university, they told me, Andres, would you like to work with us full time as a communicator? So in this paper, this is the reality of Andres. On the paper, I'm an engineer with 2 years of communication marketing. Is that when I was trying to, when I was trying to look for a job and the job was offered to me, I was like, this is fantastic. This is awesome. So right away, I said, yes, this was like a one-time opportunity to change careers. I'm not going to get into more than that. Of course, we can talk about that in a way in another episode. Is that by the time I graduated, I started to work with the university, where I work from my graduation to 2017, which was the last around the end of the second semester, the last time I worked with them. Why this part is imperative in this moment on the 68 jobs, you might ask? Because when I finished my role at Chalmers, we come back to this. On the paper, now I was not only an engineer with a bachelor's, with a master's, I was also a communicator, a recruiter, and a marketer. Now, with almost 4 years of experience. Yeah? This reality was the challenge itself. So when I started to apply for the jobs, most of the jobs, there was always either, I would put a graphic here. So this was me in the middle. Yeah. And let's put here, this was the engineer jobs, and this was the marketing jobs. So Andres in the middle here of this complex situation was on paper. When I was applying for a marketing job, they put this excuse. You are an engineer. You have a bachelor in engineering. I was like, okay. But I have 4 years of experience on communication. Yeah, but we require that you have a bachelor. This was not excuses, of course, the requirements of the jobs. On the other side, when I was applying for an engineer, let's put here engineer, they told me, yes, you have your diploma, but you have worked as a marketer for 4 years. You haven't worked as an engineer. So like, this is what I'm applying. I did work 6 months as an engineer. This is what I'm looking for the opportunity. And they said, no, Andres. So I was hearing rejection after rejection. This made the situation very stressful. And why? Because if you see this date, 2017, from 2017 to almost a year, 2018, I was unemployed. It took all this transition of building this image, building this process, doing these applications, learning from them to show to the market that I am valuable. And that is why I understand you and understand your pain, because maybe you didn't do a career change, but you have a career, you have experience, and the system is going to always find a way to turn you down. They're always going to find a way to say no to you. This was about the job, but then it was about the language, and then it was about maybe some skills, maybe then it was about another experience, etc. There is always something about that. And this is why the process itself becomes tedious, becomes challenging, becomes stressful, it gives you anxiety, it gives you pain, it gives you this, I even feeling it right now, all these emotions of anger in that sense, yeah? Frustration. 68 jobs exist because of that pain, of that reality that happens here. And this is where we enter the second part of this video. And it's about you. I should have started from this part as well, but you needed the background of the story to understand this. Now you know where Andres comes from. Now you know kind of the struggle that I pass on. But the story is not about me. The story is about you. Yeah? When I started 68 Jobs, it started in 2018, right after I got that job that changed everything. Yeah? So I put myself in my head, I said, if I can, I will never let anybody else around me to suffer that. So this is for you. This is for you if you are a foreign-born professional in Sweden and need a residence permit to stay. This is for you, foreign-born, even though right now I'm also supporting Swedish-born, like not foreign, but this is 68 Jobs itself, is that audience that have the most pain when approaching this process. And most of you, 9 of 10 the people who approach to me, you require a residence permit to stay. So this is for you. Yeah. Also, you have applied for some jobs, but no email replies, no interviews, no job offers. What I put some jobs. So if you recall the first part, maybe you have done 5, 10, 20, or you have done 100, still some jobs, but no replies, no interviews, no offers. So this is where we're going to check what is it that is happening that is not providing these results. You feel lost, alone, frustrated, sad, angry, depressed, anxious, and mad all at the same time. There's no more words to explain this part. This is this cocktail of emotions in the stomach. So, straightforward explanatory. You don't know if you blame your name, because it has happened. I have a foreign name, though nobody actually talks to me because it's difficult to pronounce. You start to blame, oh my God, it's because I'm not Swedish. I'm from India, Thailand, China, Colombia, Mexico. Oh, I'm blaming myself. I'm brown. Look at me. I'm not white. I'm talking about all these things that actually that it has happened, that people get rejected. The language, oh my God, this is the famous one. Is it because of the language? Maybe not, but yes. Is it the system? Is it the house in a casino always winning? Is it the people that I talk to? Is it the companies? Who is it to blame? Whose fault is about this? Is it the politicians? Is it the world? It was COVID. This was created before the pandemic, but who are we going to blame? The answer is nobody, but if you feel like that, this is for you. You're reaching a boiling point that is affecting your personal life and your mental health. That's it. It is going into your life. It is eating you from within, from inside. This is for you. Boom. If you're losing faith, faith is a big word. It doesn't have to be religious or anything, cultural thing. Let's call it hope. Hope is the last thing that a human will lose. I call it faith. Maybe it's more because I'm more esoterical in a way. I don't know. But you're losing hope. You're losing faith. You're losing. I'm tired of this thing. That's it. That's it. I don't want to do this anymore. And simply, you see no way out. I'm leaving the country. I didn't find a job. I'm running out of money. So this is the chance. This is the reason I was explaining at the beginning. 68 jobs exist because we don't want you to feel in this way. We don't want you to feel alone. We don't want you to feel that everything is against you, because it's not. I'm talking to you directly, even though I have the camera here and stuff, but I'm talking to you directly. You are not alone. Sounds cliche, sounds whatever you want to make it sound, but you are not alone. So this video is for you. It is 23 minutes of you to understand that you are not alone. So please take the time to hug yourself, to love yourself, to give you the chance to breathe and understand that you are not alone. The motto of 68 Jobs should be you're not alone, but of course we aim to reach as much people as we can, as we have done in the previous 8 years now. You're not alone. So, jobbers, that is the word I'm using to call you to have this amazing community. Breathe, put in your heart, and we do this together, right? Thank you for everything, and I see you on the next video. Ciao.